My biggest fear in life is to become successful and be able to create a life for myself and my family, just for my family not to be able to enjoy it because they're no longer here. That's my biggest fear. That's my biggest fear in life, is to finally reach the mountaintop of everything you've worked hard for. You know, you put in all this work, you put in all this time and effort to create some stance in this world with having finances, being able to take care of yourself, your family, your immediate family, and that being what you look at as the pinnacle in your life of success. And just to finally get to the top of that mountain, to be able to do that, just to not be able to see the people that was there when you first started because they're no longer here on earth. That's one of my biggest fears, because to have it all just to be by yourself at the top is one of the worst fears of my life. I really sat and I analyzed why I do what I do every day. When I go to work, when I put gas in my car, when I put food in my fridge, when I go spend time with my mother and my brother, when I call my grandma to make sure she's okay, to me staying out of trouble, to me doing what I have to do as a man, to me, making sure I'm making logical decisions and thinking 2, 3 steps ahead of everything that I do, because I know that, I can't afford to have a lot of slip ups, because I'm the man of the house. I'm the man of my family. And there's not a lot of men in my family that are my age that are doing what I'm doing. And that pressure for me is what keeps me going every day. But to do all of that and to finally hit a breaking point where something truly works for you and you start elevating tremendously to different heights that I've never seen before. And I start really seeing the revenue of just my hard work paying off finally, and finally being at that position in life where I have everything I need to have to take care of everybody that I want to take care of, and love on the ones that I really didn't have enough time to love on because I was so busy working, so busy trying to take care of myself, and so busy trying to maintain myself and worry about the worries that I worry about behind closed doors, just to finally be able to get a breath of fresh air of money's not a problem. I can buy whatever I want to buy. I'm my own boss. I can take care of my family now. They don't ever have to work a job ever again in life. Just to be in that point in life where you could do that, just to see that all the faces that you love the most, that you care so much for, that you've worked so hard for, are no longer here to even see you at your pinnacle, at your success. And it's just you. When the clock runs out with certain people, you can't reverse it. You can't stop it. You have no control over what God says has to be done. And for me, that is probably one of the biggest fears of my life, honestly, is to be successful and to literally have nobody at that dinner table on holidays that I can celebrate it with, that can celebrate it with me because we won, not just me. Just to not be able to experience that, for me, is my biggest fear, because I don't do this for me. I used to do it just for me. But the older I get, the more I realize it's bigger than me. If I had a family of my own, I'll be doing it for them. But currently, I'm a single guy, so all I think about is my family, the people that I see every day or try to see every day. But when you're working and you're working day in and day out, you're trying to take care of yourself. You're trying to pay all your bills. You're trying to just stay on a straight and narrow. You feel like you just don't have enough time just to be everywhere. You try to give yourself just a little bit of a break just to kind of realign yourself mentally and physically, because you've just been just thrown through the ringer Monday through Friday. And you get 2 days to kind of regenerate. And, for me, man, I just think about it like to finally get over that hump in life, to where you don't have to put on that vest. You don't have to clock in at a job. You can become your own boss at some point in life and be able to tell yourself when and where you go, and not be able to see your family around you supporting you anymore because they're no longer here because God just called them home. That is it's a sad thought for me when I think about it. I don't like to think about it because it makes me kind of sad and a little down. And I'm venting this because I know it's somebody out there that probably has the same kind of fear. And it's normal to think like that because as you see the years progress, you realize how time isn't promised to anybody. You know, every day when you wake up and you get home in one piece, that truly is a blessing. And not only you, but the people that you love came home in one piece. That's a blessing. But, you know, in the midst of everything, you don't really see all of that, you know. You don't really understand how of a blessing that is. You know, had a really great conversation with somebody very close to me. And we really talked about some real deep shit. And he was like, what is your biggest fear in life? And I was really, the first thing that popped in my head was just thinking to myself, to be at the top where I have everything I've ever imagined in this lifetime, just to enjoy it by myself, just to have it just to myself. I have nobody to share it with. I have nobody to celebrate it with, nobody to give a little bit to help them grow in their own way. Just to have it all to myself and just be at this big dinner table with all these plates with food on it, with nobody in the seats, just me sitting there. That is my biggest fear in life. And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't feel good about it. I pray that that isn't the case, a scenario in my life. I pray when I finally do get over the hump in my life, in whatever way that is, everybody that I love and care about, like my mother, my brother, my grandma, a few of my family members, a few close friends, are there at that table, you know? Because we don't just do this for ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We do this for the future self, you know, our family, you know, and that really hit me. Really kind of threw me off a little bit. I've been kind of thrown off all day after that conversation, but I really wanted to just speak on it because I know that it's a serious topic that is really makes you think about just the future, you know, because, you know, there's no way we can just go through this life just with our head down all our life, just working. There got to be some kind of breakthrough. You know, not everybody's going to be a multimillionaire. Not everybody's going to be completely, you know, job free, but there's a level where you hit a point in your life, whether you start making more money, whether you start having things on the side you're doing that's successful, you're going to hit a point somewhere where you're at a high level in your life where you can finally take care of your family. And that's all we want to do, is take care of our family when we finally get to a point to be able to. And just not to be able to do that because they're no longer here and it's just you with all this success, that doesn't generate any happiness, at least for me. I would probably be even more depressed. I would probably feel even more incomplete as a person, as a man. I do all this for my future family, my future kids, you know? And I just hope one day everything pays off to where the people that was there day one through all of my ups and downs is able to enjoy the fruits of my labor and be able to, you know, learn from what I did and create their own, you know, wealth and everything. Because I would want to give back. I wouldn't want to hold it all in for myself, you know. I would want to see the people that I love and care about win too, you know. And this is something that I really, it's deep, man. It's deep. Yeah, that's really like my biggest fear in life.